Amusement Park Fan 62. Here, this is a new thing I'm starting with parks that I've personally visited. Now, please note this, I'm only including parks that I've visited. I'm not including parks I've not visited yet, anyway. Um, now, this is called Park Needs. This is, in my opinion, what parks need um, to either succeed or follow trends or something like that. My first park I am going to start with is Kings Island. Now, if you're not aware, Kings Island is an amazing park. It is about 20 miles outside of Cincinnati in a small town called Mason, Ohio. Um, they have something for everybody. But, like everything, they're not perfect. They need certain things, which is what I'm going to talk about in this video. Now, um, parking lot. Now, their parking lot is a good sized parking lot and it has decent lighting for what it is. But the one thing I do think they need to at least bring back that I've heard that they've had is a tram. Now, other parks have trams such as Dollywood, Silver Dollar City, and others like that. I believe Cedar Point has one as well, which I'll get to them later on. And so that's one thing that they need, just so you don't have to walk, because especially if you're at the back of the parking lot, it takes like almost like a good mile or so to get to the front. Now, they need signs for security to basically be like, like no bags go through this line, bags or with strollers and stuff like that go through this line. Just to make things easier, so that way that way you're kind of like, okay, I need to be in this line. Because I know other parks I've been to, which I will get to eventually, have signs like that, that says like strollers and bags this line, no bags this line type thing. So that's one thing. Now, once you get in, um, of course, the ticket booth's really easy because it's right there, and then as well as like lost and found and groups. All that is fine. But now you get into the park. Um, Now, this is where a majority of the stuff is going to be. First, one thing that they desperately need more of is shade. Now, I realized, they can't plant trees just because those take forever to grow. But one thing that they need more of around the park are like benches with like Coke umbrellas or something like that. Just because like they got that along International Street, and then you will see a few here and there throughout the park. It's mostly for like some of the restaurants toward the back, but other than that, you don't really see that many. And that's one of the things that they need to do is add more of those because unfortunately, especially when you go when it's like 90 degrees plus on a hot sunny day, you know, that you're going to feel that quickly because all the park is just cement. Now, sticking with that, the other thing that they need around the park or is misting fans. Now, I'm not saying every square inch of the park needs to have a misting fan, but I'm saying like the major areas need to have a few, like in Action Zone, Corny Mall, that area near Diamondback, stuff like that. Just because, because all that area is just cement, and it needs something to kind of help you cool off suddenly. Now, the next thing is, and this goes for the Beast line mostly, as well as maybe some other outdoor coaster is fans of some sorts, like maybe like ceiling fans or something like that, just to help circulate air, especially when it's very hot and humid out. Um, Now, the next thing is this: they do have a few of these around the park, but they need more. Is signs to say like how long the wait for certain rides and attractions are. But what they do need is like what like Dollywood has this like for a lightning rod in them is for them to get like a sign that's LED where it would say how long the wait for the ride is instead of depending on the employee, which they may or may not even know. So that's one thing. Um, the next thing is now this will go towards the kids area. Now, Plain of Snoopy in Kings Island is a good kids area. I've been through that multiple times, just to cut through mostly. But one of the things that they do need that they don't have are certain kids rides that you see in a lot of stuff like that. Like one thing that they don't have, at least that I'm aware of, is like one of those Zamperla Speedway rides where they could theme it after a Linus or Snoopy or Charlie Brown or something. Um, Now something like that would be good, just because they don't take up a lot of space. Um, they're easy to maintain, from what I understand. The next thing is some like rides where you go in the air. Now, something like Up and Away at Kentucky Kingdom, or I'm not sure what the name of the ride is called. I'll put it in the down below. Um, it's similar to Up and Away, something like that. Just because there's really nothing like that, and they could theme that after, maybe Charlie Brown trying to get a kite or something like that. Just so kids rides like that, just be, because their kids area is good, but it's had the same attractions for a while now. So they kind of need to reinvest some more into that, just so they can get more out of it. Next thing is now we get to the thrill rides. Now, Kings Island, when it comes to thrill rides, is good, but they can always improve. Of course, they got like a drop tower. They got a swing ride, which is Windseeker. Um, they do have one of those free fall rides where you kind of harness in, you go up, you pull a cord, and you come down. They do have that, but one of the things that they do need is a Zamperla Giant Discovery. Now, they have one to the most point, but this is one where maybe this would be better to have because one, they could put a light package on it, and two, these are a lot better to have just because they kind of go a little bit higher in the air and some other stuff like that. Now, it's going to probably get to the point with Delirium where it's going to reach its service life, which is probably not too far away. Um, the next thing is a Zamperla. Is it Zamperla, right? It's like um, uh, Scream Extreme at Kentucky Kingdom or Catwoman's Whip at Six Flags Over Georgia. One of those new Zamperla versions of the Enterprise. Now, that's one thing Dolly Kings Island lacks is rides like that. And something like that would work because their sister park, Carowinds, does have a Enterprise. It's an older style Enterprise through Schwarzkopf, but that's one thing that they desperately need is rides like that. Now, Now, something like an Enterprise or the Zamperla version would be good, um, just just because it doesn't take up too much land. It, now, for Kings Island's case, because they do get quite a bit of people, um, they would need to get the two-seat version. Of now, I believe so, which would mean the single seats hold, I believe it's 30 people. So that would mean they could double that and have 60 people per cycle. Um, and the cool thing is, they do come with cool light packages. I have seen it with Catwoman's Whip at over Georgia and Supergirl at Six Flags St. Louis. The light packages for them are neat and they are bright. Um, now, the next thing that they need desperately is a Ferris wheel. Um, now, they can go with several manufacturers for that. It just depends who Cedar Fair wants to go with. But that's one thing that they desperately need is a Ferris wheel. Um, just because their sister park, um, Cedar Point has one, uh, and then Six Flags St. Louis has one, and then some other parks have them. It's just to help. One, they may not be a capacity monster like some roller coasters are, but it's one of those things that would help out, especially for stuff like Halloween Haunt and other stuff like that. That way you can go in the air, you can see what's going on, and stuff like that. And now, it'd also be good to see maybe from the parking lot and the interstate, especially at night when it's lit up. The next thing is a um, maybe. Well, they do have that with the Eiffel Tower. But the next thing that they also need as well is more healthy food options because unfortunately, now I understand it is an amusement park, so healthy food and amusement parks don't typically go together. But they do need more healthier options per se because the only healthy options you can get is at the Miami River Brew House with the Beyond Burger uh, and and then also at Chick-fil-A a grilled chicken sandwich. I believe there is a grilled chicken sandwich somewhere else in the park. And then besides that, you have Hank's Mexican Grill, which you can get non-fried stuff in there as well. You have La Rosa Pizza. Problem is that's all bread. You do have Panda Express, which is somewhat healthy, but you do have the rice, and then some of the chicken is fried. Um, you have the barbecue place, which is pretty good, but I'm not entirely sure how healthy that is, per se. So they do need something healthy. Now, one of the things I saw at their sister park, Kings Cedar Point, which was neat. It wasn't open when I was there, but it was neat. It was an organic um, uh, chicken tender place. Now, what makes it organic with chicken tenders, I don't know, but something like that would be cool, especially if it was like grilled chicken or something. I understand that would be expensive to do, but um, that could work out. Um, and lastly, um, depends on how you feel on this. They do need more like drink stations. Now, they do have somewhat of drink stations around the park. Now, they do have a drink station in front of the Eiffel Tower. Now, I'm not sure if that is going to be there when the Eiffel Tower reopens next April for their 50th anniversary. But they do have somewhat of drink stations around the park. They have one near Orion and Windseeker that's connected to a building that has popcorn and Dippin' Dots and stuff like that. And then they got a few other places like that. But for some people, they just want a drink. And they don't want to have to go into a restaurant to do that. So that's why I think they need more drink station type places to help out, especially because Kings Island does get the crowds. And a lot of these restaurants do get very busy. So that's one thing that they desperately need is places like that, just to help out, um, and just to be like, okay, here's the help out. It doesn't matter, because they have Coke right now, they can have Coke help out. Now, the last thing that they need, and the good part about these are they don't take up a lot of room, is they need these signs that you see them at like Six Flags parks. I've seen them at Dollywood and some other places. It's these signs where it's on a pole, and then like they would have these arrows pointing which way for different stuff. So they have one in the front to point for like delirium, uh, banshee, stuff like that. Um, Now the other thing that they do need as well is basically a sign of some sorts to basically be like, um, welcome, welcome to their water park. Now that's another thing I forgot to mention as well. They desperately need to work on their water park some because their water park is good per se, but it can always use improvement. Now it has a lot of the standard water park style stuff, such as water slides, like a bucket that tips on you, a wave pool, two wave pools to be exact, so like a drop body slide and some other things. But there are stuff that would be good for them to have. Now, one thing that would be good to have, um, and they can market this as well to help them, is they could put like a water coaster in, and they could be like Ohio's only water coaster or something like that, or something like that. Um, that would be good. But that is just some ideas I have with them on what Kings Island does need. Um, the next park will probably either be Cedar Point or Dollywood.